Hello, friends, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy you're here with me today. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to hit play. Hopefully, maybe you're multitasking as you listen to this podcast episode. All right, let's hit the ground running. There's something about the unknown that makes us very uneasy, most of us at least, because we like to have answers. We like to have plans in place and direction. We like to know what's coming up next because knowing feels like control and control feels like safety. But what if the unknown isn't a void to be feared, but a season to be trusted? What if, like winter, the moments in life that feel quiet, still, uncertain are actually the moments where something new is being born? Welcome back to the Extraordinary Self Podcast. Today, we're talking about why we are so uncomfortable with the unknown and how learning to trust it might be the key to our deepest growth. Let's start with something simple but powerful. Our brains hate uncertainty. It's not because we're weak, it's because we're wired that way. The human brain is a prediction machine. It constantly scans for what's safe and what's not. And when we can't predict the future, our nervous system interprets that as danger. That's why transitions feel scary, why waiting for results makes us anxious. Our bodies are literally reacting as if we're being chased, even when what's chasing us is just the unknown. We would rather cling to familiar pain than risk an unfamiliar possibility. We'll stay in relationships that drain us, jobs that shrink us, and patterns that numb us because at least we know them. But here's the truth. The unknown isn't the enemy. It's the birthplace of everything extraordinary. Every love story, every breakthrough, every reinvention, it all begins with uncertainty. Think about it. Winter looks like everything's dead. The trees are bare, the ground is frozen. It's easy to look at that landscape and think nothing's happening. But beneath the surface, life is reorganizing itself. Roots are deepening, seeds are prepping to bloom. The stillness of winter isn't lifeless, it's a sacred preparation. And the same is true for us. When life feels cold, when doors close, when things look empty, it doesn't mean it's over. It means something is quietly taking shape beneath the surface. When I learned about that analogy through a fellow podcaster that I adore, she had an experience during a yoga session where her yoga teacher brought this concept in about winter. And for her, it was very eye-opening. And when she shared that with us, her listeners, I found such great value in it too. Because sometimes what feels like an ending is actually an initiation. Winter teaches us patience. It teaches us to trust the unseen. And I had a year, I want to say 2 years ago, where the word that I chose to focus on, my intentions for that year was surrender. And I felt like I was being called to surrender, to not plan so much, to embrace the unknown, to not know what's ahead of me, to stop thinking and analyzing everything and all my steps so I can feel more in control. God said, surrender. And when people would ask me that year, what are you up to? What are you doing? I'm not sure. I'm just taking it day by day. I'm living in this transitionary phase and I'm happy being here, alive, being a mom, waking up every day. And so I lived in that type of surrender for some time. And it was quite uncomfortable for me because I'm such a planner. I'm such a control freak, at least a recovering control freak, where I want to know that I'm going to get certain results by doing certain behavior, which, okay, that's fine. But I had to let go. There had to be some undoing in my being to trust life, to trust God, to trust that not knowing is okay. And maybe your winter isn't punishment. It's protection. Maybe it's the space you needed to release what's no longer aligned so you can receive what's meant for you. And things could be moving silently, privately, and not outwardly sometimes in our lives where we can't see what's happening. We can't tangibly measure what we are, how we're growing or progressing or what we're achieving, but things are happening. And that's the beauty of the unknown. We live in a culture that is obsessed with clarity. We want 5-year plans, action steps, guarantees, and hello, I just spoke about that, like my vision board, and it has its place. You know, I spend time visualizing my future. I do, and we must do that. But we glorify it so much. We glorify people who know exactly what they want. But the truth is, no one really truly knows what's going to happen in the future or what's truly best for us. And most of us do live, even the highest, most successful people do live in certain periods in the unknown. They go, they move forward, but they are not 100% certain of the outcome, but they move anyway. We're all walking in some kind of mystery in life. The difference is some people resist it while others learn to dance with it. Learning to embrace uncertainty is a spiritual practice. It's saying, I may not know what's next, but I trust it's good. It's releasing the need to control every chapter and allowing the story to unfold, because control might keep you safe, but surrender will truly set you free. What if you started to see the unknown as potential energy? Not emptiness, but possibility. Not danger, but divine design. There's a quiet magic that happens when you stop demanding clarity and you start choosing curiosity. You begin to see the uncertainty isn't a detour, it's the exact path that leads you home. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but so is growth, so is transformation, so is becoming the version of yourself you have prayed for. When you find yourself in that space between what was and what's next, here are a few things that have helped me and can possibly help you. Start to ground your body, breathe deeply, move, walk outside. Remind your nervous system that you're safe, even when your mind doesn't know what's next. This was huge for me. Just even talking to myself, putting my hand over my heart and telling myself, Maria, you are safe, you are safe, you are safe. You're loved, you are loved, you're loved. You are known, you are known, and you're known. And I would say those phrases, those words to myself to teach my nervous system to embrace the present moment and the fact that you don't know what the future holds. Another practice for me and for a long time is write about times that you were uncertain before and something beautiful still unfolded. I had pages and pages of journals for me to see when time periods in my life where I felt so uncertain, but I figured it out. And so that taught me and reminded me during times of recent surrender and uncertainty that I've gotten through many uncertain times. Go back and read some of those pages, or think back in your life. When have you overcome things that you faced them and you've have flourished and you're now a better person because you stepped into places and you did things without feeling absolutely sure of the outcome. And something else you can repeat is in your mind is, I don't need to know what's next to be safe right now. That's an important concept to integrate into your being. It's okay to not know. Like I'm constantly living in the who knows? I have no idea. And I've actually changed that into excitement for me as opposed to so much worry. Yeah, I have no idea because all things are possible to me. Everything is possible. Some of those things could be negative. I have no idea. I have no idea what's coming, but I know that so many things are possible to me as well. So much amazing, beautiful, exciting things that I can't even picture myself. I can't even write them myself or create them in my brain myself because it could just be even beyond my imagination. And that excites me so much now, knowing that the future can hold these amazing possibilities that I haven't even dreamt or imagined of yet. Something else that you can do is embrace the stillness. Just like winter, don't rush this time period. Don't rush this rebirth. The silence is not the absence of life. It's where life begins again. Remember the winter analogy. We can't have spring without that winter. So maybe the unknown isn't something to survive. Maybe it's something sacred to be experienced. Live in it, sit with it, embrace it. Because just like winter, what looks like death is often the beginning of something breathtaking. In the quiet, something is awakening. In the stillness, something is forming. And in the unknown, you are being made new. So next time life feels uncertain, remember this: you are not lost. You're simply being prepared for your next season of bloom. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who's walking through their own winter. And remember, you are extraordinary, even when you can't see what's coming next. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and trust the mystery. I sure am living in that way and trying to embrace that as much as possible. So I share this message with you as much as I'm sharing it with myself. Thank you.